Dr. Laxman, the onus of putting this into a financial context is now on your shoulders. You've been on plenty of committees for the government of India to recommend budgets with respect to military. What's the best approach to take at this point? Because my guests seem to feel that there's no point putting a figure to this and talking about a 3%. There needs to be a strategy in place. What do you think might be a sanguine way to go forward for the finance minister, being mindful of the defense threat that now stands before us?
I think India has to follow a mixed method. On one hand, the government has to step up the allocations for the defense, for the fact that there is a huge shortage which the defense forces are facing. In fact, if I can give a piece of statistics, in the present financial year, the shortage in the defense budget was to the extent of over 1 lakh crore. And more seriously, more disturbingly, over 52% of that shortage was in the capital acquisition fund or the procurement fund, so which the armed forces use to buy new equipment. And and the problem is so severe that the ministry is finding it very difficult to pay even for the past committed liabilities. That means those contracts which the government has set. So the situation is quite really sad on the defense budget. But having said that, I think there is a limit to which the government can actually step up the defense resources. I think that the approach would be to also look from within by the Ministry of Defense how to improve the quality of spending. And over the last, I think, over a decade or so, the quality of defense spending has deteriorated to say the least. I can give you a few statistics. In 2011-12, the manpower cost was less than 50% of the MOD's defense budget. Now, by 2021, it has actually gone up to over 61%. So that means that share has actually come at the cost of the acquisition and the sustenance budget. And that's not at all a healthy situation. So government is to find some money to spend more on the acquisition and sustenance. At the same time, the Ministry of Defense has to look from within how to improve the quality of spending. So I'm glad that the CDS is talking how to rationalize the defense expenditure. Although those suggestions have not been found acceptable by the veterans, but the bitter truth is that all over the world, be it US or the UK and other countries, they have actually rationalized the manpower, how they look at the salary and how they look at the pension. Those are the actually hard reforms India has to do. And in fact, that is a long-term plan. So whatever we do now in the manpower front, the fruits will only be seen after 10, 15 years. But I think the steps need to be taken right now.
So just to finish up that point, Dr. Laxman, you would say, and you're right, I mean, salaries and pensions contribute about 59% of the defense budget. You would say it is unlikely the finance minister will implement the second upgradation of pensions that was planned in the OROP scheme?
Yeah, OROP, so the liability that we have seen is over 40,000 crores since it was implemented. And if the second revision is being, if it is done, then it will add another 10,000 crore to the defense budget. So whether that is sustainable, the Ministry of Finance has to, Ministry of Finance of the Government of India has to have to find a way out. But that is the commitment that the government has already made. It's a very delicate balancing act for the Ministry of Finance, and I hope they will find a acceptable solution which is acceptable to both the Government of India and the veterans.